Hello there. Liz Truss is expected to rip up a swathe of planning regulations in order to supercharge house building. Yes, it's being leaked out that the new Prime Minister Liz Truss will be putting green planning laws through the shredder so as to accelerate the house building process. And there's also talk of creating low-tax investment zones to boost development. And building houses is one way of boosting GDP, and that is boosting our economic growth. And this dovetails in neatly with another way of quickly boosting GDP, and that is increasing the size of the UK population. Think baby boomers, the generation born in the late 1940s to the mid-1960s. There was an increase in births, a birth boom, and this led to a boom in the need for baby clothes and baby foods. And as they got older, the boom followed through with the need for more school stuff and teachers, and then ultimately more houses. And throughout their lives, more food and more energy was needed and paid for, more healthcare staff had to be trained and hired, and more infrastructure needed to be built. You get the idea. So more people means more need, means more spending, means more tax taken and increased GDP. Just what Liz Truss and her team are looking for. But encouraging us to have more babies would take workers out of the workplace, and then you'd have to wait the requisite 9 months anyway. And right now the UK birth rate is well below replacement rate. Yes, it really is. And it will take years to reverse that, if it's now possible at all. But there's a faster way. You don't need babies. Just open the doors and turn no one away. Because the more people there are in the UK, the more money is spent, and the more money that circulates ever faster through the Treasury tax system. And it doesn't matter if many of them are not working. They must still be fed, housed and kept warm and safe. All paid for by the taxpayer, and all adding to our GDP. And as GDP rises, the all-important debt-to-GDP ratio starts falling, so giving the government ever more room to borrow more money. And given that Liz Truss didn't talk about dinghies with President Macron when they had a chat, and that the Tories have handed out bucket loads of visas, and that she's getting the bricks and concrete mixers out all over the place, as well as reducing stamp duty to get things moving, might make a cynic think that her economic growth plan is built on a UK population growth plan. The trouble is, that's just a shallow Ponzi scheme approach. Because once it started, it would be just about irreversible. Because if the numbers of newcomers ever started to level off, or there was no more room left, the whole thing would come crashing down, and right quick. But it is just the sort of short-term plan a politician would grasp at, and a plan that the likes of the World Economic Forum would applaud, don't you think?